Okay, so we've been looking at turtles and geometry, and we just finished up step 5 on procedures. Let's open up our project. So we figured out, I'm going to open this guy's backpack. On a Mac, it's a control click. I think it's a right click on Windows, and say open backpack. And click on his procedures tab. And you remember we wrote this procedure to make him go in a right circle. I'm going to clear the graphics with my clear graphics button. And now I can just say right circle. And he draws a right circle. If I wanted to, so like I said earlier, anything that you can type in the command center, you can make a button for. I'm going to make a right circle button. Why not? Now in this label, remember we said for procedure names you don't want to have any spaces. In the label you can put spaces, you can put whatever you want, because the label is just the words that appear on the button. The actual instructions, where you have this instruction line, this is where you have to put real words that MicroWorlds knows, either the built-in words, the built-in procedure names, or the names of procedures that you wrote. So we wrote this procedure right circle, so now we can do that, and we just want to do it once when I press the button. So I'm going to say OK. I'm going to, oh, I meant to move this guy. Let me see, I'm going to move this guy over. And I'm going to, again, do this trick of, like, dragging the mouse so that I get a rectangle that overlaps the button. And now I can, oops, now I can, try again. Now I can pull on this to make the button longer. Now everything fits in there. And I can make a right circle. And I can clear the graphics. Cool. Alright, so let's go to the next lesson. We finished lesson 5. So to get to lesson 6, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can click on this triangle, or you can click on this little, I don't know what this is supposed to be, but it kind of looks like a table of contents, I guess. And that's your table of contents. And then now we're on step 6. Please repeat. So let's go in here. Okay, it says geometric shapes can be used to create some interesting designs and patterns. First, define a square procedure if you haven't done so already. Oh, so we know how to do a circle. We also know how to do a square, don't we? So let's make a square procedure. So we know that what we want our turtle to do when we make a square is we want it to repeat 4, forward 100, right 90, right? Remember that? So what do we need to do to tell it to do that? Well, we need to tell it the name of the procedure, which we do, we use the word to, and then we write the name of the procedure, to square. And then after the instructions that we want it to perform for that procedure, we write end. Oops, end. Okay? So now if I say square, yoink, it draws a square. Okay, so in the command center, type square. Next, turn the turtle and draw the same square again. For example, RT30, and draw a square again. Oh. Let's do it again. Let's RT30, and let's draw a square. And then let's RT30 and draw a square. Oh, looks like we're halfway done, I think. RT30, draw a square. RT30, draw a square. So how many squares are we drawing here? Draw a square. Let's see, I wonder how many we would have to make altogether. See if you can think of how many squares it's going to take to get all the way around. We're turning 30 degrees each time. Now it looks like we're pointing back the way we were started, right? So it looks like we've gone all the way around. So again, how many degrees did we go all together? 360, right? And how many degrees did we turn each time before we made a square? 30. So I'll let you think for a minute. How many turns are we going to have to make to complete the design? So if you haven't figured it out yet, why don't you pause the video for a second and think about it for a little bit. See if you can figure out how many turns it would take to complete the pattern. Because if we keep turning, right, we're just going to be drawing over. If we go right 30 and then draw another square, we're just going to keep going over the same pattern, so we're not going to make any new lines. So there's a point where you've made a complete pattern where you've gone all the way around. So how many times do we have to turn? So I'll let you, why don't you pause the video for a second. I'm going to stop talking for a second, and then when you come back, we'll take a look and we'll figure it out. Okay, so let's clear graphics for a second. So basically what we're doing is when we make a square, notice we're facing straight up now. When we draw the square, we end up facing in the same direction. So even though we've done 360 degrees of turning and drawing the square, we end up back where we started from. So we're turning right 30 here. We draw a square and we end up facing right back the way we started. So effectively we're just doing 30, turning 30, turn 30, turn 30, turn 30, turn 30 until we get all the way around. So how many times would we have to turn 30? Well, if we're turning 360 altogether, 360 divided by 30 is 12. So it looks like it should be 12 turns, right? So let's see. Let's clear graphics. And let's try repeat. Actually, you know what? If you want to clear everything in the command center, you can type CC, and that clears everything out. So that's another built-in word that's kind of handy. So let's say we want to repeat, and what did we say? It was 360 divided by 30 is 12. So let's repeat 12 times, make a square, and then turn right 30. And let's see what happens. Looks like we got it, right? So we have this kind of pattern that we can see. 4 times 90 is 360, right? Our turn on a square, each turn is 90. 4 times 90 is 360. In a circle, each turn is 1. We can change the forward amount to change the size of the circle, but each turn is 1. We do that 360 times. 360 times 1 is 360. Right here, we're repeating 12 times. With a square, we don't change our turning amount. And also notice that with forward. When you go forward, you're not turning to the right or to the left. You're just going forward. So you're not changing the amount of turn with this command. So the only instruction that's changing your turn is this last one, this RT90. And the same here. The only procedure, or the only instruction that's changing your turn amount, or that's changing your direction, is this RT30. The square with the square, you do change direction, but you end up pointing the same way that you started. So effectively, you're not really changing it. And 12 times 30 is 360. Okay. And then it says, use the same technique to create a design using another geometric shape, such as a triangle or pentagon. So play around with that. Play around. Now you know how to write a procedure to draw a right circle. You know how to write a procedure to draw a square. Write a procedure to draw a triangle. Write a procedure, and we're going to say repeat something, right? I'll let you finish it. Make one to draw a triangle, make one to draw a pentagon, and so on. Okay? I'll finish that for you here. 3, forward 100, RT 120, right? Because 3 times 120 is 360. Okay? Make a pentagon, make something else. And then make design patterns like this. And you could make a button that had repeat 12 and square right 30 in it, right? So there's a lot of things that you can play around with this. So go ahead and play, and then the next time we'll look at next time we'll look at step 7, explore more patterns.